since we're going to talk about enrollment forms, we bring in Jeffrey Augustine. Okay? First of all, the guy walks in, and I'm thinking, I mistuned the TV, and I've tuned into a reality show for, a convention of botched facelift victims. All right? But more importantly, Jeffrey Augustine is not an expert in anything. He's never stepped foot in a Scientology organization. He's never taken a Scientology service, and yet they're bringing him in, right? So that the guy who says and testified under oath that he was the one who actually created these forms, they can have this guy who looks like Winchell Mahoney doll. I mean, he literally, you can barely even move his mouth anymore, right? Because he's so worried about his appearance. They're going to have him put on an act, and literally an act, because he and Leah start play acting together so that Rinder can do the bobbing head doll, confirming it all as fact, right? And she goes into the subjunctive, Leah does, about they would threaten you with SP declare if you questioned the enrollment form to take it out and have it looked at. She's just full of shit. There's never any prohibition. In fact, there's every encouragement to read the entire thing. Okay? Always has been. So they have Augustine, who's never been in a Church of Scientology, act out the role of registrar. Of course, they've had Matt Pesh, who claims to be the head salesman. He omits that it was for a several-month period only, like 30 years ago, right? And they pull in a guy to play the role who's never even been a Scientologist, right? And she play acts with him as if he's trying to get money from her. And she says, and they're talking about the enrollment form, and she says again, but we don't know what it says because we are not allowed to read it. Twice she's now stated as a fact that you're not allowed to read the enrollment form. It's a complete and utter invented lie. And Mike Rinder knows it. Augustine says, you must agree that you are opposed to psychiatry. And yet the subliminal, if you hit the pause button and see the actual enrollment form that they're talking about, if the subliminal, if you flip it and stop it, it actually says, the person says that I don't believe in or subscribe to. It doesn't say I'm opposed to it. I don't believe or subscribe. But they just reinvent by redefinition at the drop of a hat, just constantly. And he goes on and bloviates and doesn't really say much of anything except parrots their line. All the while, they're not disclosing that he has no basis for knowing anything.